Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Archer's Garage and Whatnot. Today we are back in the garage and we're actually doing mechanical work. So haven't been able to do any of that for a little while. Been busy with my woodworking stuff and been putting off my mechanical chores. And I've got some motor mounts I need to do on my car, and been putting it off. And yesterday, the old wifey poo complained about it when she drove the car, so you know it's bad when she complains about it. And if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So I better go ahead and replace them, because I can get by if it's bad for me. If it's bad for mama, then it's bad. So today we're going to go ahead and replace the motor mounts on my 2011 Ford Focus, my little beat around car, my daily driver to get back to and from work. And it treats me well. I better treat it well, right? So let's get started, shall we? Man, look at all that horsepower. She's a turd, but man, I get 35, 38 miles a gallon in this thing. So I take care of it. So what we're looking at today, we're going to replace the motor mount over here. It's on the passenger side of the car, front side of the engine. Replace that one. And then there's one down on the bottom side to get to it from the underneath side of the underside of the car. Replace that one. I'm not going to replace the one for the transmission mount. I've done that before, but it hardly ever needs it. So I'm just going to go ahead and bypass that one. Now, there's a couple different ways to do these. I'm going to show you guys the cheap way or inexpensive way, because you don't need to spend a bunch of money to have your car running right. So let me show you what we bought here. All right, here are the mounts that we're doing. This is this guy. Well, it goes like that. So you can buy it with all the bracketry and all that stuff. It's quite a bit more money, and you don't need to do that. It's pretty simple to take it apart and get it down to this here and put it together like that. So it'll save you quite a bit of money. It just takes you a little bit of time. So if you factor in what's your time worth to you versus what this costs, for me, it's better to do it this way. This here is what we call the dog bone. This is what goes below, connects from the firewall to the engine down here. Let me turn you guys around. Alright guys, trying to get you here where I'm not going to blind you with the sunlight. It is sunny here in Florida and humid. But let me explain to you why we're doing this here. So anyway, the first one here, the dog bone. So this one, now remember, everybody has different driving habits, but this is my situation. My area is a little hilly. We don't have mountains here, of course. We have decent hills. Say you're cruising at about 45, the car downshifts, it'll have a pretty solid bang. One of these bushings here is worn out. That's my scenario. You may have different ones. When my wife's driving the car, if she goes to pass somebody, because she's a crazy driver, she'll notice a bang. This one here, it usually has a pretty constant vibration inside the car. It resonates inside there. You can hear in the panels like a buzz. Zzz. So what happens is this rubber part here collapses, right? And then it sits metal on metal. This over here will sit on essentially the frame of the vehicle. It's not the frame, but you know what I'm talking about. It sits metal on metal. So then the engine harmonics, the engine running, transmits through the car. So you'll notice that. Now I've noticed I've gotten a little bit of a lack of gas mileage in the last month or so. I'm not 100% sure that these motor mounts have anything to do with that. I'm wondering if the vibration I'm getting is affecting my NOx sensors and retarding the timing on the engine, causing me to have a lack of fuel economy. I don't know. We'll find out today, right? I guess it's a possibility. They'd have to be really bad for it to do that. But I've seen stranger things happen. We'll see. But anyhow, that's what we're doing today. And I got to change the oil. I've let it go a little bit too far. I'm not very proud of that, but we got to do that. I got to rotate my tires, all that. I'm not going to film that. I'll film the motor mounts. And if you can't figure out to change your own oil, maybe leave a comment down below and I'll do a video on that. But let's go ahead and get started on the motor mounts, and I'll bring you guys along. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, get the car elevated. I'm using drive-on ramps. You can use jack stands, of course a car lift if you're lucky enough to have one of those. You don't need to elevate the rear for this, just the front, unless you're bigger than me, but I can fit under there like this. Always secure the vehicle. Don't just do it with a jack. If you've ever seen a hydraulic jack give way, the car will come down so fast you won't be able to move, and bad things happen. So take a little bit of extra time, spend a little bit of extra money, get you some ramps, get you some jack stands, do it the right way, be safe, do it for your kids, do it for your family, and you'll thank me one day. If you ever see a jack let go, you will thank me one day. So anyhow, so secure the vehicle, then we're going to take the jack, put it under the engine, under the oil pan. So probably what I'll do, I'll probably put a block of wood right there to put a wider lift pad so it takes some pressure off of the oil pan, right? So then I lift this ever so slightly to get the weight off the mount, and then I'm going to take the mounting screws off. So I will meet you back here when I get that going. Alright, so I got the jack under, supporting the oil pan so slightly, and now we're going to start going. So we've got an 18 millimeter on these two here, right? And we've got two 10 millimeters here. Now I'm using my impact gun. You could absolutely do this without it. You could do it with hand tools. You could do it with a ratchet. But I'm using this because I've got it, right? So make your life a little bit easier. So we're going to take these two loose, move this overflow canister out of your way, and then you can get to the rest of them. Alright, so you see I've got the stuff out. So I've got my canister out. I didn't disconnect anything. I just moved it out of the way. Two 18 millimeter nuts out of here. It actually pulled the stud out of that one, but no big deal. And then three 15s. 1, 2, and 3 down here. Three 15 millimeters. And then you can fish this guy out. I may have to jack the motor up just a little bit more to get him out of there. So let me go ahead and get that. Yeah, I can see it's binding a little bit right here. So you see how the stud is over a little bit? That means the motor needs to come like that. So I need to jack it a little bit more. So let me get that. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I get the mount out of there. Alright guys, so I got it out. I actually had to take the stud out. It was giving me a binding situation and I couldn't get it out. Never have I had to do that. So very interesting. When you get the mount loose, what you do is you take it and you kind of turn it, kind of clock it, and then you take it out this way. You got to hold your mouth just right, like you're fishing, and then you come out the whole thing like this here. It brings the whole thing out. So now what you're going to do is take this part out of the bracketry and put your new one into there. And that's why this one is so cheap, because it doesn't come with all this stuff. You can get it with that. It costs quite a bit more money, and I don't want to spend that kind of money because that doesn't wear out. So you can see how much this is worn. It's pretty sloppy here, pretty worn. Just kind of collapsed here. I'll show you the new one when I get it in there, the difference. Anyway, you hear that clunking? Well, that's your vibration that you will hear inside the car. Your harmonics, right? So anyhow, there you go. So let me go ahead and get this guy out of here, get a new one in. So like I said, it's pretty simple. You clock it, take it out of here. Just be patient with it. You don't want to force it because you got your AC lines here. You got some electrical connections. Just take your time. Look at what you're doing, and it comes out. It took me all of 30 seconds to zip it out of there. So anyhow, let me work on getting the new guy in there. Alright guys, I wanted to show you this. So this is the new one, this is the old one. So you see how this one's got the straight piece? You're going to have to put it into the bracket and then fold it over. See how this one here is folded over? So it's like that. That's why the new one costs so much, because you got to pay for the bracketry, you got to pay for the child labor to do this. So now you're doing that. Now you're the child labor. But anyhow, let me show you the difference here. Yeah, it's a good 1/4 inch here. Look how much that thing's squished versus this one here. So there's your vibration and your engine harmonics and all that good stuff. So anyhow, like I said, this goes in here, whoop, and then it folds over. This tab will be in here, and you fold it over. I'll show it to you when I get it in there, but that's how you do it. Simple as that. Alright, there guys, there she is. Fed her through. Takes a little bit of finesse when you're feeding it through to not get it on top of here. You want to go below here, and then once it gets below, then you take your hammer and screwdriver and you fold it over. And now remember how much play it had in here? Now look how nice and snug that is. So now I fish it back in there, snug it up, get to the bottom one. Easy as that, guys. How many hundreds of dollars did I just save myself? Because this mount cost me 20 bucks. Thereabouts. So, anyway. There you go, guys. Alright, let me get this in there. Alright, guys. Alright, so we're back under the car. Alright, so here we are. So here's the new one, right? And here it is. It's right here. So, it mounts to the transmission into the K member here, and it's 2 15s. It's a 15. Yeah, let me show you here. It's a 15 right here, and there's a 15 on this other side. So you take those out, it'll be sloppy for a little bit. You can probably move the engine back and forth by hand if you're strong enough, and you put the new one in, or you take the old one out, put the new one in. It's as simple as that. So let me get started on that. So it looks like this here is the bad one. I don't see much of a bushing left in there. So let's get it started here. Yeah, so all of about 10 seconds and I got it out. So anyway, here you go. Look here, guys. So here's the bad part. See how it's no longer part of the rest of the bushing, right? You have a 2-piece bushing now. So that's it. Simple as that. Now you take your new one, you slide it up in there, you tighten it down. Now I did notice the motor and transmission assembly slid forward when I did this, so I'll have to rock it back. But this is something that, I mean, I'm doing it one-handed and I'm kind of rocking it already. So maybe with a little bit of a pry bar. But it's as simple as that, guys. 2 15 millimeters. Saving mucho money. Alright, there she is, folks, in all her glory. Caught a little bit of a hard time getting it lined up because the motor shifted forward a little bit, so I took a ratchet strap and I hooked it to the back of the K member and then to this right here and basically cinched it together. I was able to get the bolt in. So there's a bolt there and a bolt there. So I started that one, then I cinched it together and was able to get that one in. So easy as that. So there you go, guys. Alright guys, it wasn't a riveting video, but it's motor mounts, right? So how riveting can you make motor mounts? But the point of this channel is to not have to go to the big guy and spend a bunch of money on repairs that you can do yourself with basic hand tools in your garage, on your back, in an afternoon. And this is totally one of those. I've got probably, between both those motor mounts, I've got probably 50 bucks. So you can spend $50, or you can take it to the dealership and spend hundreds of dollars and let somebody with the skill set of yourself do it, and they can charge you, who knows, for, you know, whatever repair they want to charge you, because they can say, oh, well, you need this or that, the other thing. You're the one working on your car now. You can figure out what you need to do, what you need to spend your money on, and you don't have to give your money to the big guy. Now you can take the rest of that money and take your wife out to dinner. So there you go, guys. Save the money, a little bit of initiative, some hand tools, and what did it take me, an hour? I've been out here an hour. So a little bit of sweat, and there we go. We're done. And now I'm going to get to changing the oil, and we'll be on the road. Mama's happy, I'm happy, and I'm going to take her to dinner with the money I saved. How you like that? So thank you for joining me here on Archer's Garage and whatnot. Have a blessed day, everybody, and I hope you join us again. If you like what we did here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm just a common guy doing common repairs, and I hope you like it. See you guys.